Hey, Roblox fam.
What? Hi, Roblox fam. What's going on? I'm Millen,
I'm Gina.
and this is our review of our two big budget and small budget movies, Hairspray and But I'm a Cheerleader.
Whoa, mama.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And if you're a viewer of ours, you know that we love small budget movies and big budget movies.
We don't discriminate.
Unlike some of the people in the movie Hairspray.
Directed by Adam Shankman. Hairspray 2007 follows the eccentric Tracy Turnblad on a journey to become the next big star of Baltimore.
Tracy, a plus-sized high schooler, dreams of dancing on the Corny Collins show. What do you think about Corny Collins, Millen?
I love Corny Collins. You know who he reminds me of? Jace
Who,
from the
Millen?
Jace from the hits TV show Arcane.
Whoa, I never thought of that. He really does look like Jace. If he were white, if you know what I mean.
Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah.
you could say that again.
Tracy gets her big break and becomes part of the show, but soon discovers that the show is segregated with black dancers only allowed to perform on Negro Day.
Don't worry, we can say that word. We just can't say the other one.
Ah! I got. Can I not say that
Is that
word?
part of the recording?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Can I not say that
It's
word?
okay.
I actually
I
don't
can
know.
cut that. I can cut that. I can cut
Okay.
that. I can cut
Okay. Um. She gets her big break, and fuck. She soon gets her big break.
that.
No. I'm sorry. She soon gets her big break and becomes part of the show, but soon discovers the show is segregated, with black dancers only allowed to perform on certain days.
Yeah, how horrible.
That
With her new
sucks.
friends, with her new friends, she teams up to fight for integration and equality, while Velma, the bigoted station manager, tries to stop Tracy from outshining her daughter Amber. Talk about a manager mom, am I right?
You're so right. As she grows closer to her friends Seaweed and Penny, she sees firsthand how unfair the system is and is determined to make a change.
Hang on. How do her friends make her see that?
Well, you see, they organize protests and rallies together, risking backlash from the public and even from the law.
Whoa.
I
But I
know.
thought Tracy wanted to be a TV star.
Well,
Isn't that risking her reputation?
it is risking her reputation. Tracy, meanwhile,
No.
has to navigate her romance with Link, who also has to decide between a life of TV stardom and doing what is right.
That's Zac Efron, isn't it?
It is.
God, I hate Zac Efron.
His eyebrows are stupid.
Yeah. The story builds to a live TV dance competition where Tracy and her friends make their voices heard and prove unity can break down barriers and create real change.
Who are you?
Get out of our house! Hairspray's mix of humor and lively musical numbers delivers an uplifting story about standing up for what is right.
Yeah.
Cowabunga!
What a cool movie.
Yeah. How did you feel about the story and pacing, Millen?
I love the story and pacing of Hairspray. The movie effectively blends humor with the deeper issues of racism and body image.
You can say that again.
Ha!
I think Tracy's passion for chasing after her dreams helps push the plot forward and makes her easily lovable.
You can say that. The movie manages to handle social change in a way that feels inspiring and not preachy, as Tracy's story focuses on her personal growth at the same time.
The mix of comedy and drama keeps the story engaging, and the humor helps to offset the heavier themes. The pacing of the movie is fast, ensuring there are never any dull moments. With catchy musical numbers breaking up each scene, the film stays entertaining throughout.
It sure was entertaining. Tracy and
Yeah,
Link's Tracy and Link's romance is sweet, but is left behind to focus on the larger social message. The downside to
it,
this was that some side stories, like Seaweed and Penny's relationship, were left behind and underdeveloped.
no! Regardless, the movie's momentum keeps viewers engaged, allowing the message to resonate while still being entertaining.
So true, Gina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
story and pacing, 10 out of 10.
But what about the acting?
Well, it is based off of a musical, so the acting was expectedly theatrical and exaggerated. The actors stayed faithful to the original stage acting of the Broadway musical the movie was based on. What did you think about the casting, Millen?
I love the casting. Each character was well casted, with each actor presenting themselves in a fun, quirky way. It wasn't very realistic, but that fit the whimsical setting of the story. Who was your favorite actor, Gina?
Hmm. Well, let me think about it. I think John Travolta's performance as Edna Turnblad was especially exceptional, surprising the viewers, including me, with his interpretation of a 60s housewife. You would never have guessed that the actor for Edna was a man in drag if you weren't told it.
I didn't know until Gina told me.
Yeah, because I'm so smart.
You could say that again.
Watching the actors truly felt like watching an animated show with their exaggerated and performative depictions of their characters. This movie reminds the viewers that unrealistic acting is not necessarily a bad thing. And the decision to stay with theatrical acting really added to the colorful atmosphere of the movie. Booyah!
Booyah. Well, if the acting was so good, then what about the look of the film?
Well, the visual style of Hairspray. Well, the visual style of Hairspray perfectly complements its vibrant energy and 60s setting. The production design captures the era with its colorful sets, costumes, and lavish hairdos. What did you think about the color palette, Millum?
I love the color palette so much in this film. The bright color palette emphasized the optimism and excitement of the characters, highlighting their bold personalities. The visual contrast
Hmm,
of Tracy's bright look compared to Velma's cold style reflects their personalities and roles in the story.
how insightful!
Very. The camera work
Well,
too was incredible. What do you have to say about it?
well, I was just about to say something about that actually. The
Oh,
camera work during musical numbers is dynamic and captures the energy of the choreography without feeling too chaotic. Every scene feels alive and captures the spirit of the 60s. The style makes the movie fun without taking away from the film's core message, creating a strong and memorable experience.
it sure was memorable.
You could say that again. So, we talked about the movie, but what about the director?
Oh, well, the director played such an important role in this film. Adam Shankman, di- his directing. Adam Shankman's directing tied everything together to keep the film energetic while still tackling serious issues. He managed to juggle comedy, music, and social commentary at the same time while still maintaining a lighthearted feeling throughout.
How that's amazing because music and choreography is such a core part of the movie's charm. And Shakeman utilizes them perfectly to make moments feel even more special.
Despite Tracy being the center of the story, every side character still gets their moment to shine on camera. His direction helped to bring out the best parts of Broadway into a beautiful final product.
I agree full heartedly, Millen. So, what are your final thoughts about the movie?
Well, I'd give Hairspray a 4.5 out of 5, and I'd suggest it to anyone looking for a fun movie who likes musicals too. The satire in this film was very blunt and made many moments hilarious on the first watch.
Yeah, I found this film incredibly funny and entertaining. The film's satirical commentary on racism and fat phobia was bold and unapologetic. I personally give this movie a 5 out of 5.
Wow, such a cool film.
Yeah,
Now, let's move on to our next film, a low budget film, right? It's called,
Yeah, for
but
poor people.
yeah, it's
But
called.
I'm a cheerleader.
You do it.
The film But I'm a Cheerleader. Moving on to our low budget film, But I'm a Cheerleader, released in 1999, directed by Jamie Babbitt.
What was that about, Gina?
Well, aside from lesbian sex, but I'm a, aside from lesbian sex, But I'm a Cheerleader 1999 tells the story of Megan Bloomfield, whose friends and family suspect is a lesbian because she is a vegetarian, has no interest in her boyfriend, and is drawn to her fellow cheerleaders. Despite Megan denying it, her parents stage an inter. Well, do you know what happens next, Millen?
I haven't paid my bill.
Do you know what happens next, Millen?
Yes, I do. Despite Megan denying it, her parents stage an intervention and send her to True Directions, a conversion therapy camp run by Mary Brown. Campers
Mary
here?
Brown?
She's not brown. Campers here are subjected to stereotypical gender roles as part of a 5-step program to cure them of their homosexuality.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah.
Megan initially tries to conform, but starts to question the program after meeting Graham, a rebellious camper sent to cure herself of lesbianism.
What happens next, Sheena?
Well, Megan falls in love with Graham, forcing her to rethink her values and identity. As the camp's methods escalate, Megan embraces her true self and gets expelled from the camp. She stays with Larry and Lloyd, former students of True Directions, who encourage campers to rebel against the program. Thank goodness.
Megan devises a plan to rescue Graham, who stays at the camp out of fear of being disowned. At the graduation
Damn.
ceremony, Megan performs a cheer for Graham to declare her love to her, and the two drive off together.
How romantic.
Such a beautiful film.
I could have a beautiful love story set at a conversion camp.
Heh, me too.
So, well, what were your thoughts on the story, Millen?
Well, I thought the story mixed comedy with serious topics of identity and acceptance, making it feel meaningful without being too heavy, right?
I agree with that. The movie exaggerates stereotypes to highlight how ridiculous society's expectations of people are. Megan's journey is relatable because she doesn't understand herself at first, but figures it out over time with the help of the new friends she makes.
The camp's lessons and rules are way absurd, but also reveal how damaging it is to force people to conform to roles that don't suit them.
Mm. Well, aside from the story, what about the pacing?
Well, the movie is pretty fast paced, keeping it fun and engaging. It doesn't linger too long on the camp's lessons, so it manages to balance the quirky scenes with moments of Megan finding her identity.
If anything, the movie could have focused more on the side characters. But the movie was focused on Megan, so that wasn't too important.
Yeah,
By the end, by the end, everything comes together and delivers a message about accepting yourself for who you are.
ha, that was wonderful. But what about the acting in this film, Gina?
There was a recognizable and nostalgic 90s feel to this film. Like, you know how sometimes you can tell what era a movie was made in? This
Yeah,
is one of them. And I gotta say, there wasn't just good chemistry between the two leads, but between the entire cast as well. The actors were believable as a group of unlikely friends. I think the tone of the actors' delivery was at times exaggerated or cartoonish, but they still managed to add the appropriate emotional nuance to their roles, especially in the moments of self realization.
right? The satirical tone of the movie doesn't ever overshadow any of the genuine moments of connection and emotion between the characters. The actors use comedy to instead criticize the camp's ridiculous goals in a clever and witty way.
You could say that again. How did you feel about the visuals of the film, Millen?
Well, like Hairspray, But I'm a Cheerleader also had an incredibly colorful set, but it was much more impressive in this instance, given that this was the director's feature film debut,
Yeah, the visual flamboyance and the hidden visual sex jokes really make the film stand out for its satire and colorful aesthetic.
right?
Speaking of the colors, the film utilizes pastel colors to create a campy atmosphere and critiques stereotypical gender roles. Parallel shots are used in playful montages that serve to show off the colorful sets and progress the characters' relationships.
That is so awesome, Gina. How did the what were your thoughts on the directing in this film?
Ha, no kidding, Millen. Well, well, Jamie Babbitt balances a whimsical, colorful aesthetic with satirical comedy. The film's ability to blend comedy and emotional depth while maintaining a sharp critique of societal norms and homophobia both entertains the viewer and ensures the film's social relevance, save for a couple of dated jokes.
Ha ha ha. Well, I thought Babbitt's choice to write the camp counselors to be eccentric and lack self awareness represents the overzealous and artificial social constraints imposed on people's identities that the film criticizes.
That's an excellent take, Millen. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So, how do you think about the movie?
I would give this movie a 5 out of 5. I thought it was a really funny experience. I'd recommend this to any teenager who can handle more explicit jokes and scenes.
I agree. I thought it was really good. The movie provided a comedic and emotional experience. I would recommend people over the age of 14 watch it due to the serious subject matter that the film commentates on and the vulgar jokes sprinkled around the set. I think it's way more fun if you can understand the jokes, you know?
Yeah, I
I
think
would
so
give
too.
this I would give this movie a 5 out of 5 stars for being such an unapologetically gay film made for gay people.
Ha, you can say that again.
No kidding. So, we watched two of these movies. But what do they have in common?
Well, there's a lot these two movies have in common. First of all is the production value. Both of these movies are visibly high in quality, and you can tell there was a lot of work done to create the sets.
Yeah, you definitely can. With the creativity, both films utilize colorful and vibrant sets along with witty and eccentric dialogue to portray a story about social change. Both also tackle societal pressures, with But I'm a Cheerleader promoting acceptance of sexuality and Hairspray challenging racism and fat phobia. Comedy in the form of satire is used in both films to lighten up these heavier topics.
And then there's the director's impact. Both Babbitt and Shankman use satire to create a commentary about ongoing social issues, such as racism, homophobia, and the unnecessary critique of women's bodies.
Yeah, definitely. But what do they differ in?
Well, for starters, Hairspray had a much larger budget of $75 million, which can be seen.
Cowabunga!
Yeah, huge number. It can be seen clearly in its elaborate dance sequences, costume design, and high quality visuals. But I'm a Cheerleader, on the other hand, only had a budget of $1 million. Its exaggerated
Damn.
sets and costumes clearly had less money spent on them, but that helped it lean more into its satirical tone.
But I'm a Cheerleader stands out with its visual style and almost unheard of premise for the late 90s. Combining satire and camp, it tells a very unique story about self acceptance for LGBT plus people. Hairspray, while fun and uplifting, stays closer to traditional movie storytelling, blending themes of social justice with Broadway music.
That is so cool. They're so similar, yet so different.
You could say that again.
Ha!
Okay, well, we watched two movies with very different budgets. But if you were to watch another movie, which one would you prefer, a smaller budget or a bigger budget?
Well, I'd say, and you'd agree with me on this, right? We'd both find that films with smaller budgets tend to tell their stories more authentically and don't rely on the high cost stunts or superficial charm to impress the viewer.
I do agree with that actually, Millen. You know me so well.
Ha! You can say that again.
Well, Roblox fam, that's it for today's video.
Thank you so much for listening. We really think you should watch both of these movies because they are incredible.
And we sincerely hope you have a Merry, Merry Christmas.
Um,
Are we done?
1, 2, 3, go.
Are you recording?
yes.
Okay. Hashtag getting swole at the gym.
No kidding.
You can say that again. Pink. Gross.
P.U.
You. I can't get my fart.
Glory's evil.
Look at people.
You hit a wall. Where are we going?
We're going to the thing. We need to ice skating now.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so good at this. Ouch!
You suck at ice skating.
You know what? I hate you.
I made you
Are
fall
you okay?
Why would you do that, Gina?
That's what you get.
I'm gonna get you.
Huh?
I'm gonna get you.
No!
No, I see you. I hate you, buddy.
We're not supposed to call.
I'm not allowed in there. This is like, what was it called when I was junior?
Cocksucker! Cocksucker!
Let's go to cocksuckers.
Let's go to the cocksucker day club. Mama!
Whoa.
I'm doing legal.
Wait, this table's crazy. This is insane, B-roll. Okay, okay.
Let's go! We're so good at this. Oh, do you get relaxing now?
I sure hope she does.
You can say that again. Oh my god, I'm gonna pressure with my life cross. Look at this.
Oh wow, so athletic.
You can say that again.
No kidding.